Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 934 for the 14th of September. Frontline Changes report has already been published on the main channel, so do check it out. And we'll go straight into the strategy and tactical reporting. But first thing first, there's a new geolocation that caused a frontline change over at Maximilianivka. So this geolocation is basically inside where we have already previously marked as Russian control, but it was not acknowledged by the Ukrainian side, and due to the geolocation, we have some slight change and of course the invalidation of all the Ukrainian claims in this region. So the Ukrainians continue to claim this is just a gray zone, this is not the Russian zone. But yeah, however, no, that's not how DPA map it. So it's under Russian control, so it's now Russian control. Because I don't play the gray zone game, I use it as just to explain that there's maybe not much fighting there, there's no people stationed there, but capture or not, the last person that touch it, conquers it, yeah. I'm thinking something very, not appropriate to talk about on YouTube, but it's okay. It's okay. If it's yours, it's yours. So anyway, we're going to go into the Kursk front. So I'm quite sure you guys are more interested in the Kursk offensive situation, and Ukrainians, of course, is on the counter offensive. And there's some major updates, which is super weird. So the Ukrainians, of course, are attacking in the Grushkovo region. Russians are conducting their offensive on the western flank. Then we have this map update from the Ukrainian side, and I'm not sure if this is timed to counteract with the loss of grounds over in the Snagos region. And suddenly they have updated the map to show that they have advanced in the north, in the northern flank. So yeah, that's weird. Ukrainians are also attacking Ruskaya Konopelka, Borky. Russians are attacking Borky, and of course some other shelling reports all over the place, including a Prashnoy Ruska. I forgot the name, man. Ruskoy Prashnoy, sorry. And also Martinovka, I believe. Yeah, Martinovka. So we'll go into details. So we go into the Grushkovo region first. Ukrainians are still stuck. They're still stuck at Veseloye as well as Novi Put. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, I forgot to put this in here. So the Russians are still reporting more or less the same thing. We're fighting reported at Mevize, Novi Put as well as Veseloye. The situation remains basically the same. There is no change. The Russians continue to pin them there, which is why I say on the very first day of this counter offensive, if they didn't have a bigger breakthrough, then most likely it will fail, which is what it looks like right now. Because if there's no frontline change, then it's pretty much a failure right now. That's what I think in terms of such a fast-paced battle kind of situation. So the Russian forces continue to shell the rear position at Obody, Katerinivka, and Palivka. So this situation totally did not change at all. Russia still controls Grushkovo. So there is no fighting being reported at Tekino. I believe the incursion has already been eliminated by now, given the fact that there's no updates. So that's all from this area. Over in the western flank, the Russian forces continue their offensive. This time around, Ukrainian mapping has acknowledged that they have lost the entire Snagos salient. The Russian front line is now, according to the Ukrainians, is at Byakovo, Venezapnoe, as well as Godievka. But the Russians continue to report fighting over at Nikolaevo, Darino. This is by the Russian Defense Ministry. Darino, Parskoye, Perovsky, as well as Lyubimovka. They also reported the Ukrainians counter-attack at Lyubimovka and Obukovka. Russians are reportedly attacking Obukovka based on the Ukrainian mapping. Some of this mapping is because of geolocations. The Ukrainians have no choice but to acknowledge this advancement to Lyubimovka, but tentatively this remains to be the case. There's probably also fighting towards Uspenovka at this moment. Shelling reported at Zelenishek as well as Novo Ivanovka. So Shiak, this is pronounced as Zeleny Shiak, Zelony or Zelony Shiak. I tried the Google Translate, so more or less there, something like that. So there's also shelling reported in the Sumy region at Vudilahi. So that's and also Kulenkoe, there's some shelling over there. So generally, this is the strategic situation over in the Kursk western flank, and the Russians continue their offensive. The progress is much lesser. At least maybe there's no more updates. All the Ukrainians have actually sent in reinforcement and to stop the Russian advance. So, which means that the initial offensive over in the Snagorsk region probably caught the Ukrainian by surprise. The Ukrainians totally didn't see it coming, which is probably why it was successful. But as the front line changes is now slowing down, maybe the Ukrainians have reacted, sending the forces to fight the Russian offensive, and probably why the front line becomes slower. There's lesser changes. Probably that's why. So anyway, we will continue to monitor. Then there's the geolocation of a Lancer hitting a self-propelled gun. That's probably supporting the actions over in the western flank. And then over in the northern flank, we have this very peculiar situation. So the Ukrainian mapping so have updated that they have captured all these grounds. So this is not reported by the Russian side. It's not acknowledged. So it's just purely Ukrainian claims. So it stretches from the south of Alexandrovka. They're fighting reported at Vetrino, Zebolovka, what's this? Durovka, Zurali. They captured Kryanoe, as well as Kalinov. And they probably also considered captured Zuravli, Kalinov, Durovka, as well as this town of Dubolovka. So they have captured multiple settlements, and now they are facing down the wide expanse of the countryside at this moment. So this is a surprising development, and this is grounds that the Ukrainians have never captured before. So before that, the Ukrainians actually attacked from this direction, and they didn't really have these settlements. So now suddenly they have this, which is also kind of weird. Because we do not know when this happened, when this was captured, or this offensive or this frontline change happens only the past 24 hours, or it is something earlier. We can't tell. And if it's only the past 24 hours, then I would say that no, the Ukrainian balls are really huge. No, because while the Russians are doing an offensive in the west, like they were attacking this area here, and then they go northward. Yeah, that would be quite a surprise. What the hell am I going into analysis? This is the situation report. I shouldn't do conclusion stuff. So if you're interested to know more about my opinions, check out the conclusions series, which will be on the main channel. And for those that do not know, this is the DPA War channel, and there's 2 DPA channels on covering the Ukraine war. So do check it out, and also check out the DPA Open Mic, which is a separate channel as well, where we talk between you and me, we chit chat. So, so in the northern flank, we have all these attacks that we have reported. We just reported. There's also a Ukrainian attack over in the region of Marevka. So shelling, of course, this already mentioned, Kulenkoe, Novoivanovka, and Zelenishek. So that's the front, the northern flank situation. Russians are also attacking at Ruskoye Prashnoye. So we go into the this southern or eastern flank. So in the southern eastern flank, Russian forces are attacking Ukrainians. They're clashing actually at Borky. The Ukrainians are attacking Ruskaya Konopelka, Russians attacking Matanovka. Shelling reported at Ivashkovsky, as well as Yuzhny, Mirny, Kamalkov, Plakovo, as well as Guevo. So there is a lot of rear positions that just off the front line that is shelled by the Russian forces. So not sure if this is a precursor to anything. So we will continue to monitor the situation for this Kursk front. And further around in Sumy, there's shelling reported at Sumy, as well as the north over in Radkivka. And there's also more shelling much further away over at Otyaka, as well as over in this Kharkiv region, over in Barnichi, Shoska, as well as Yampil. The first time in a long time we actually have no shelling reported at Kharkiv, which is very, very interesting. So let's see how this develop. The incursion towards Oriol probably will never happen. So let's see. We move into the Kharkiv front. At Kharkiv, front, we have fighting reported only at Voschansk. So this reported by the, I think, Ukrainian Defense Ministry and Russian Defense Ministry, but that's about it. We move into the Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, there is shelling reported at Kisharivka. Fighting is reported at Sinkivka. At Sinkivka, we have some frontline change, where the Ukrainian mapping have shown that the Russians have taken another piece of forest on the western part of Sinkivka. So that's about it for this area. Over at the Pischane front, the Russian forces are attacking towards Novosinove, Glushkivka, Kolesnivkivka, Krylyakivka, towards Lozova, Stemekivka, and Andrievka. So, and then there's fighting reported at Tebaivka as well as Pischane, with Russian forces capturing some more grounds north of Pischane, which are just west of Tebaivka. So the strategic situation looks really, really intense. The Russians are attacking really fiercely across all the entire front line. You can see that the entire front line is actually attacked, and the tactical situation over in this area is also looking worse and worse, with the Russians heading from one Pischane to the other Pischane. So they are heading in that direction, and so we shall see how this develop. If the Russians reach the other Pischane, the entire line, the Ukrainian line here may collapse. So let's see how this continue to go. The distance between this Pischane to the front line is around 5 kilometers. So yeah, so that's it. Going south, over in the, let me see, there's Andrievka. Okay, Svetove front. At the Svetove front, we have fighting reported at Cheneskina or Cheneskina, over at Drizlyovivka, Makievka, and Nevsky. So this one, strategically, there's nothing changed. We move to the Kremina front. At the Kremina front, we have fighting reported at Novosadove, Terny, Zarishne, and yeah, that's about it. Over in the Sivers front, we have fighting reported. The Sivers offensive continues by the Russians. Fighting reported at Serebyanka region, Belohorivka, Verkhanokanyamsky, towards Sivers at Vimka. So that's the situation right now. There's no frontline reports in these regions, so there's no idea what's the latest frontline right now. I'm quite sure it's not what we are seeing now on the map. So we just have to continue, because I cannot just change it based on my gut feeling, because sometimes the reports about, like, for example, the fighting at Sivers may actually be inaccurate. So we'll just continue to wait. Moving into the Bakhmut front. At the Bakhmut front, we have fighting reported over in Kalinina, Chasivya, Andrievka, as well as Kudyomivka. In particular, the main change is over at Kalinina, where we previously have this salient, which I mentioned that is most likely under Russian control, based on this geolocation, which is in fact now mapped as under Russian control by the Ukrainian mapping. So that's all for Kalinina. We move into the New York front. So at the New York front, the fighting is primarily, I can't really fit in everything. Okay, never mind. Over at Druzhba, Dashne, Torex, Nerepivka, and Sukabauka. The major frontline change, the major news over this region is the New York region. At the New York region, the Ukrainian mapping have made some massive change, where they claim that they have lost the factory over in the New York center. And however, they now claim against the geolocation that they have actually full control of Nerepivka. So I can't tell if this is true. This is just based on a claim. So whatever it is, the Russians have captured more grounds around here, but the front line here looks really, really inaccurate, generally speaking. So we can't tell what the hell is happening. The overlap is just too much at this moment. So we will continue to monitor the situation. You can see that this is a cope front, very copish, a lot of copium around here. So we move into the Pokrov front. In the northern flank of the Pokrov front, Russian forces attacking Zelenipole, Novo-Oleksandrivka, Vozdevizhenka, as well as Novo-Toretsky. So this strategic situation, totally no change, as I mentioned multiple times before. This is just a pinning operation. They are not going to push out from this area here. Moving into the Horodivka region, the Horodivka, Novohorodivka region. Let me pull this way so you can see Pokrov. This is Pokrov around here. Russian forces are attacking at Horodivka, Krasny Yar, as well as Novohorodivka region. So we're not sure exactly where in Novohorodivka the Russians are attacking, but we do have a geolocation of FPV drone hitting Ukrainian MRAPs over this area. So this is not much change, but the fighting at Krasny Yar does feels like, it's a signal that the Russians are pushing in this direction. So if attack is at Krasny Yar, then that means their final objective is going to be Minograd. And the fighting at Novohorodivka most likely is going to be Lysivka. So we shall see how this develop. This is going to be interesting. So let's see how this goes. Moving south, over in the Selidove region, we have fighting reported at Marinivka, Selidove, and Mikhailivka. So no much change around here. Over in the Ukraine's or Khernik sector, the Russian forces are fighting in the region of Ukraine's Dolinivka, Zeleny Pershi, as well as Zeleny Druhi, which is reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. The Ukrainians actually mentioned Zeleny Druhi. So this is interesting. And at the Ukraine situation, the Ukrainian forces, if they are still there, is now encircled. This is totally different from the Russian narrative, because the Russian narrative is that they have already largely captured Ukraine. So, but according to the Ukrainians, this is the situation right now. And clearly, and as I mentioned before, there is no retreat right now. Actually, there is no more retreat. So, because there's a hill here, if I zoom in, I'm going to show you. There's a hill over here, and there's a main road. This is the road. The other roads are now under Russian control. So there's no more other roads. This is the only road that the Ukrainians can use, and it's probably already under fire control. So there's no escape. So to assume that the Ukrainian forces is still in Ukraine is very hard to imagine. These troops over here is going to be just taken out by the Russians. There's no way to run. So it is what it is. The distance between the two flanks is around 2 kilometers. However, the flank all the way to the road is around 250 meters. So yeah, maybe they can still run, maybe. But this is firm control. So the Russians could already attack into this area here. So anyway, this is a doomsday scenario for any troops over there. So it is what it is. It's gone. So, and of course, the interesting thing about the Zeleny Druhi, Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported fighting at Zeleny Druhi, yet they also mentioned fighting at Zeleny Pershi and also at Dolinivka, which means that the Russians actually pushing down in the Khernik region. So most likely this is where the attack come from. If not, there's no way they can reach Zeleny Druhi unless the Russians come from the south. And if they're coming from the south, this distance is much greater, so they will be a bit more unconceivable at this moment. So let's wait and see. We move south from this region, over in the Marinka Krasnohorivka region. So we have a bigger picture here. Russian forces attacking in the Krasnohorivka region, Alexandropil, Khostre. There's fighting reported south of Krasnohorivka, Georgievka, Maximelinivka. We have the frontline change. And this is the current situation. The Russians are in full attack mode. And based on Ukrainian mapping, they have considered that they have lost the south of Krasnohorivka or north of Marinka region. So the Russian forces have taken this area here. Let me use another color. So this is a particularly important area, because anyway, this is undefendable as well. The Ukrainians must withdraw. There's no way about it. They have to run away because they would be encircled if they didn't. So, and this is a terrible place to be. So Russians taking this place, freeing up forces to push to the front would make perfect sense. So that's all from the Marinka Krasnohorivka region. Moving further south, over in this Konstantinivka Voleda region. Okay, so let me move the map. Russian forces are attacking at Konstantinivka towards Katerinivka. Over at the Vidyany region, there is fighting reported towards Bohov-Yefelenka. I can talk a bit more about that. And at Voleda. So this is the current strategic situation in this place. And it looks pretty much like a full frontal, full offensive across the entire region here. And the one at Bohov-Yefelenka is interesting because I have been seeing this word, this name, Dobro Voile. or Dubrovroye for a long time, for probably at least a week or so, and I kept not finding this place. I keep finding this place to be far away from here, and then I just realized that Dubrovile, which is also Dubrovilia in Ukrainian, there's one here. There's a Dubrovilia over here. So it's like, what? Is that what they have been talking about all this while? It's actually Bohov Yefilenka. So yeah, maybe this is Dubrovilia that they are talking about here, which then would make perfect sense, which means that the Russians are already attacking in this direction towards Bohov Yefilenka or the Dubrovilia region. So that could be actually what it is. So yeah, so because if not, then the Dubrovilia is actually very far away. I can't even remember where it is. You know, it's somewhere like ridiculously far away. So yeah, it is what it is. So we move into the Velika Novosibirsk sector. Russian forces are attacking at Zolota Neva, Makarivka, as well as Levatne. So very interesting choices of attacks. Makarivka is a sensible, next target. So is Zolota Neva. Levatne is interesting because this used to be under Russian control. So yeah, they are attacking in 3 different directions. This is going to split up the Ukrainian forces in multiple areas. Yeah, I think it's a stretching operation. The Russians are just trying to stretch the Ukrainian forces, and I think this is what they're trying to do here. I don't think the Russians are desperate for Velika Novosibirsk because it's not that important at this moment. Strategically, not yet, not important for now. So that's it from this area here. We move into Zaporizhia front. There's no offensive being reported here except for shelling reported at Stepnohurst. And at Stepnohurst, we also have the geolocation of the Russian airstrike. So this probably is related. And so that's it from the Zaporizhia front. Moving on from Zaporizhia, over at the Kherson front. At the Kherson front, we have geolocation of Russian forces getting hit by Ukrainian drones. Shelling is reported at Vasily as well as Tokarivka. There is Russian attacks towards towards the Pridniprovsk direction again, as usual, by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry's reporting. But so far we still don't have evidence of any fighting to really show what the hell is happening. So so that's about it. So in case you do not know, this Pridniprovsk, there is a major bridge. This is a railway bridge, which the Ukrainians previously attacked. They managed to have a foothold and then they actually push out. So they have been saying that the Russians are attacking in this direction for a long time now. So it has been continuous in since forever, man, since July. Yeah. So let's see how this develops, and that's about it. So anyway, this is the summary for the day of 934 for the 14th of September. As you can probably hear, I'm sick. I probably said this for the 4th time. So yeah, just in case you do not know and find my voice weird or find my videos a bit late, yeah, I have to apologize for that because yeah, I need to rest a bit more. And so anyway, let's see how this goes. The DPA open mic may be happening later. It probably will be shorter because I'm not in a good condition. I might also totally not do it at all. So anyway, if there's I'm doing the open mic, probably I will put the link here. If not, this link is going to be the conclusion. No, the frontline changes report and the conclusions. And I'll see you guys in the next update.